Please come and see.
Madam Speaker, that's not my role. But at least I'm sure she's not there.
Yes. Before you, Wakisa.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker,
I hope you're not raising matters of national importance, because you have 2 hours of matters of national importance.
we are responding to your communication, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, being part of the Committee of Public Service and Local Government, we want to appreciate
And a shadow minister.
and the Shadow Minister for Local Governments,
Given that many local governments are also affected by our rationalization as far as those former unilateral roads were concerned. I also have an input and ask you, Madam Speaker, when we are handling this matter
of the effects of rationalization, could we get to know and hear from finance? Because many times the Minister of Public Service, wherever he has appeared, and we've inquired about this matter, why aren't our former staff really handled? How comes they have not yet been settled? All the answers get back to Minister of Finance, and unfortunately, Minister of Finance many times doesn't honor our invitation to Committee of Public Service and Local Government. So we request, can we get the Cabinet responding to this very matter of rationalization? And let's have a joint statement, whether it's going to be Prime Minister giving it to us, because many times now we've already revoted, but we are having other ministries referring to others. Public Service refers to finance, that finance hasn't released the money such that it fully handles this matter of paying all affected staff. So I request, Madam Speaker, let's have also finance giving us a response whether already the money has been sent to Minister of Finance, to Minister of Public Service to settle this. I thank you.
Honourable members, the Committee of Local Government, Public Service, Committee of Public Service should look at all these issues on settlement of terminal benefits and report back to the House in the next sitting. It's a very urgent issue, and this must be handled. We cannot have people out there. We thought these people should be given their settlement allowance, and to date they've not been given their money. Yes, Lop.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. The victims of RAPEX, Madam Speaker, are blamed solely on the ministries because the delays in reintegrating the staff from the merged agencies has caused many, and by the way, soon you will be receiving petitions, Madam Speaker. Most of these staff on stringent measures, they are supposed now to apply afresh for the jobs. That would not be bad, Madam Speaker, under normal procedure. But the recruitment exercise is lopsided. It is paying more attention to those who are fresh applicants rather than giving priority and preferential treatment to the older staff that are affected by the RAPEX. Madam Speaker, as you give directives to the line Minister of Public Service, those affected ministries must take note and give preference to the staff, the old staff that were already there, Madam Speaker, under normal procedure.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item.
Item 3 on the order paper, laying of papers. 3.1, the biannual report of the Inspectorate of Government.
Honourable members, Article 231 of the rules of, Article 31 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, requires Inspectorate of Government to submit to Parliament at least once in every 6 months a report on performance, on its performance and its functions, making such recommendation as to be considered necessary action by Parliament, and the reports are available, and I will request the Commissioner to lay them as per Rule 33 of Rules of Procedure.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, I beg to lay the biannual performance report to Parliament from the Inspectorate of Government, July to December 2024. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Pursuant to Rule 33.5 of Rules of Procedure, the reports are sent to the Committee of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs.
Laying of papers, the report of the Auditor General on the forensic investigation into the management of court fees using the electronic case management information system.
Commissioner.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the report of the Auditor General on forensic investigations into the management of court fees using electronic court case management system. I beg to lay.
Members, these two reports, the report on all the reports from Auditor General, please lay all of them at once.
Right Honourable Speaker, I also beg to lay the report of the Auditor General on forensic investigation into the suspected fraud in gorilla and chimpanzee permit booking systems at Uganda Wildlife Authority for the period 1st July 2020 to 30th September 2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you. The reports are all criminal. All the findings are criminal in nature, and the investigations have been going on, and these are referred to CID for action.
Item 3.2, laying of papers, the report of the Parliament of Uganda delegation to the sitting of the Pan-African Parliament permanent committees and other organs from 18th to 28th February 2025 in Midrand, South Africa, in accordance with Rule 34 of the Rules of Procedure.
Honourable members, I notice that none of the PAP members is in the House, and first of all, they are breaching the rules for not always reporting what is being discussed in Pan-African Parliament, and I will require written explanation why they are not here, why they are not giving their reports to the House. Government Chief Whip, we need explanation from your members. And Lope.
Item 3.4, reports of the Committee on Presidential Affairs on oversight visits to Chitezi Landfill, Kiriandongo District to ascertain the status of IDPs from Bududa, the city abattoir, and the status of markets in Kampala in accordance with Rule 35 of the Rules of Procedure.
Honourable members, pursuant to Rule 35 of Rules of Procedure of this Parliament, I will invite the Chairman of the Sector Committee of Presidential Affairs, Honourable Biarugaba Alex, to table the reports of the committee, briefly highlight the recommendations that are contained in the report.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, as guided by the Speaker, I would like to lay on table 4 reports of the Committee of Presidential Affairs on table and in the order as provided in the order paper. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay a report of the Committee of Presidential Affairs on the oversight visit to Kitezi. I beg to lay.
Please lay.
Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to lay on table a report of the Committee on Presidential Affairs on the oversight visit to Kiryandongo district to ascertain the status of internally displaced persons from Bududa. I beg to lay.
Please do.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I would also like to lay on table a report on the Committee of Presidential Affairs on the status of the city abattoir. I beg to lay. I will provide a summary.
That is as per Rule 35(2).
Yeah. Madam Speaker, you had guided earlier before my good colleague came to lay that he has to make highlights of the salient issues that have been captured by these reports before laying. But I see the member just laying.
He's going to
without paying heed to your directions.
He's going to give it.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for your wise ruling, and I was very clear. I said I was going to give just a few highlights on each of these reports as guided by the Right Honourable Speaker. Finally, I would like to lay on table a report of the Committee on Presidential Affairs on the oversight visit to assess the status of markets in Kampala. Right Honourable Speaker, I will start with a brief report on the Kitezi landfill. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, in response to the tragic collapse of the Kitezi landfill on August 10th, 2024, which resulted in the loss of over 23 lives, the Committee on Presidential Affairs conducted an oversight visit to assess the circumstances leading to the disaster, evaluate the current state of waste management, and also recommend actionable measures to prevent future such occurrences. Right Honourable Speaker, the Kitezi landfill was established in 1996 and is located in both Kampala and Wakiso districts. The landfill has been in a primary waste disposal site for Kampala, receiving approximately 2.5 million tons of waste every day. Despite reaching its capacity as early as 2012, the landfill continued operations without significant upgrades or expansion, hence leading to environmental degradation and health hazards for surrounding communities. Key findings, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues: a hazard risk and vulnerability assessment identified 505 households at high risk, including 81 households submerged by floods caused by the landfill disaster as a secondary impact of the collapse. Right Honourable Speaker, only 35 dead bodies were exhumed and verified, but 229 families received condolence funds, indicating an urgency to ensure that all affected families receive the promised support. So not everybody got some compensation of sorts. The quality of shelter provided was certainly not sufficient enough, and that 2 or 3 families were sharing a tent at that time of the visit. Over 80 children were eligible for nursery to university level training had been affected by the dump slide. Unfortunately, the situation has since improved because they were given some compensation and they left the site, those who had been displaced. Key recommendations, Right Honourable Speaker, government should expedite the compensation and relocation of 171 households who were displaced by the waste slide. 2, government should also expedite the rollout of the National Garbage Management Plan. 3, KCC should prioritize the establishment of modern waste disposal sites in identified locations such as Menvu, Nansana, Dundu, Busumamula in Chira municipality, incorporating advanced waste management technologies like incineration and recycling. Finally, KCC should invest in training and equipping waste management personnel with the necessary skills and protective gear to ensure safe and efficient operations. Right Honourable Speaker, in conclusion, the oversight visit to Kitezi Landfill revealed critical failures in waste management generally in the country and in Kampala in particular. Regulatory oversight and also emergency preparedness were quite lacking. Right Honourable Speaker, the collapse of the landfill devastated social, economic and environmental impacts on the surrounding communities, which highlighted the urgent need for improved waste disposal infrastructure and entrenched regulatory frameworks and timely interventions to prevent future disasters. That was a summary of the summary on Kitezi Landfill. On the brief report on the internally displaced persons from Bududa in Kiriandongo. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, in March 2010, a devastating landslide struck Bududa, where my friend comes from, and I was with him when we visited that very particular place at that time, in eastern Uganda, leaving a trail of destructions and loss of 350 people. It was very tragic. This was triggered by heavy rainfall. The landslides buried entire villages on the slopes of Mount Elgon, claiming hundreds of lives and displacing thousands of them. The disaster, which mainly affected the villages of Namtesi, Nametsi, Kubeho, and Namagasa, highlight complex issues surrounding land management, disaster preparedness, and resettlement planning and environmental conservation. They were all exposed. They were very unavailable there at that time. While exercising its mandate, the Office of the Prime Minister relocated 603 families to Panyandoli in Kiriandongo district. In 2011, the government initiated the construction of permanent low-cost houses for survivors of the March 2010 landslides who were relocated to Panyadol Hills in Kiriandongo district. The resettlement program was implemented in phases, including the acquisition and allocation of 2.5 acres of land to each household, and also provision of relief food for 10 complete months. And they also support for land clearance, supply of seeds and agricultural inputs, and also access to education and health services within the settlement. A total of 603 households were resettled in Panyandoli Hills, that is in Kiriandongo. The oversight visit to Kiriandongo revealed significant challenges faced by IDPs from Bududa, including inadequate shelter, land security, food, and health care. Quite inadequate indeed. Some of the structures were already showing signs of collapsing, unfortunately. The committee therefore recommends that the government prioritizes the provision of essential services and support to the IDPs. And furthermore, the committee also calls for increased transparency and accountability in the management of funds allocated to IDP support. Government should also develop a comprehensive plan for the sustainable resettlement and reintegration of IDPs in the entire country to avoid repetition of what is happening in Kiriandongo. Unfortunately, when I talk of integration, what I saw there was a little bit distressful. The people there still believe they are not part and parcel of Kiriandongo. They still believe they are still part of Bugisu. They don't want to integrate with the local communities. And that alone, of course, brings in quite a number of challenges. The details are within the report because I was given just only 20 minutes. Another summary, Right Honourable Speaker, is on the brief report on the city abattoir. We only have one city abattoir, I think, and that is around Port Bay Road. The Kampala City Abattoir, Right Honourable Speaker, is the largest slaughterhouse in Kampala, processing livestock for both local consumption and distribution to various markets in the within the Kampala and its environs. It operates under the supervision of Kampala Capital City Authority, Health Department, Veterinary Services, and also regulatory and other regulatory agencies. The city abattoir is located on plot 1, 2, and 3 Old Port Bay Road in Kampala, and has been a site of significant controversy and legal disputes over its management and oversight. The abattoir initially was managed by Kampala City Council, that is KCC, and became the center of complex conflict involving multiple stakeholders, including KCC, Basajabalaba Hides and Skins and Company Limited, Dan Kwatampora, Katarihwa, and also the City Abattoir Traders Development Association. All those were entangled in horrible conflicts that have seen gone through the decades. On 27th of March 2016, Right Honorable Speaker, His Excellency President Museveni met the informal sector members, including CTDA, that is the City Traders Development Association, and directed that the abattoir be repossessed by KCCA and tendered to the sitting tenants, which was Katada. He also instructed, that is the president, instructed KCCA to determine reasonable rates for the traders. Findings: the city abattoir is not one. The city abattoir is fully owned and managed by the KCCA due to unsolved ownership issues, which gives traders a leeway to illegally collect money and run the abattoir without any regulation whatsoever. The city abattoir has shifted from its primary the city abattoir has also shifted from its primary purpose and now operates more like a market, very disorganized, indeed, and extremely very unhealthy and dirty. Anytime we can fall into another disaster of health hazards. It's extremely very dirty, and when you go there, you don't like buying meat. But anyway, that's for us to consume. Recommendations, further recommendation. 1, KCCA should restore the abattoir to its original purpose so as to create trade order in that particular market. It's very disorganized, my colleagues. Number 2, KCCA should prioritize construction of new structures at the abattoir. The current ones are in a very sorry state. They are an eyesore. Those of you who have been there. Still have one more. The last report, a summary report, is on the brief, is on the report on the status of markets within Kampala. There are 17 markets, Right Honorable Speaker, in different divisions of Kampala, 17 of them. In February 2010, His Excellency the President of Uganda directed the then Kampala City Council to stop selling city markets to outsiders, but rather hand them over to vendors within those particular markets. This prompted government to compensate a city businessman known as Haji Hassan Basaja Balaba, who had at the time secured a contract to manage Nakasero and Owino markets in particular. With the new management of Kampala under Kampala's Capital City Authority, the February 2010 directive was implemented and the markets were leased out in April 2014 to the different groups within those markets who were already vendors in those markets. In 2018, a new presidential directive was issued guiding vendors to return markets to the local authorities, hence leading to court battles and mayhem in these markets. It is mayhem, to say the least. The key findings, I said they were given an opportunity to only make a summary. Key findings: government markets in Kampala are owned and managed by the Kampala City Authority, following the presidential directives, and that aimed at providing affordable trading spaces for vendors.
There's a
However,
procedure from Francis.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Madam Speaker, this matter that is being presented is a very important report that needs to be paid attention to by the Minister of Kampala, but I'm wondering why the Minister of Kampala is absent, because we are going to be giving our views and it needs to be put on record that the Minister of Kampala was around. So, Madam Speaker, is it procedurally right for having this report and the Minister of Kampala is absent? We need your guidance, Madam Speaker.
We are laying the report under Rule 35, laying of committee field reports. But what he raises is very pertinent, because members will need to understand what is happening rightly. What is raising, much as you're laying the report, but the minister ought to be here to respond to what one or two members ought to say. The government chief whip may not be able to respond to what is expected, because this is within Kampala and Kampala has a minister. Let's go ahead and receive the report, and we'll allocate time to debate this report.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Everybody's right. Honestly, this is a very, very important report. We
all of them are very, very important.
Very, very important indeed. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for that emphasis. However, Inowino, Nakasero, Bugorobi, and Nakawa, property developers who invested their resources to develop these markets were not compensated by the government when KCCA assumed management of this. Especially in Bugorobi, they are all up in arms with the KCCA. And finally, recommendations, Right Honourable Speaker. Government should find money and compensate the property developers, or the so-called landlords, as they are known, and most of them are retired public servants who use the very little money available to them at that time to develop the market to what it is today. Most specifically, Bugorobi. 2, Kampala Capital City Authority should take charge in collecting taxes in these markets so that government can increase on its tax base and uptake. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Government Chief Whip, ensure that the Minister of Kampala is available in the next sitting for us to discuss these reports. In the meantime, we are going to deposit these reports in the library for ease access. Yes, Government Chief Whip.
Right Honourable Speaker, I can confirm to the House that before the end of the sitting, if not one, both ministers in charge of Kampala will be here. The Senior Minister and the Minister of State. They have both confirmed they're on their way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then we'll create time to discuss your reports. But I want to thank you, because you find most of the committees to date have not produced even one single report. Thank you for the report. Whereas they complain, no money, but next.
Motion for a resolution of Parliament to authorize government to borrow up to euro 270 million from Afri-Exim Bank and up to euro 230 million from EcoBank and the Development Bank of Southern Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda budget for the financial year 2024-2025.
Honourable members, pursuant to Article 159 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, and Section 36 of the Public Finance Management Act, and Rule 162 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, government wants to borrow money. Remember, we passed a budget in this House, and one of the sources of funding for that budget was through borrowing. And now government is here to borrow money to finance the budget. It's a budget support loan. I want to invite the Minister of Finance to move a motion seeking for approval of the House for government request. I think you are the most popular minister.
I am honored if I'm most popular minister. Honorable Speaker, I will move a motion for resolution of Parliament to approve the proposal to borrow up to euro 270 million from African Export-Import Bank and up to euro 230 million from EcoBank Uganda Limited and Development Bank of Southern Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda budget for financial 24-25. Right Honorable Speaker, in line with Article 159 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, Sections 34 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 as amended, and the old Rule 155 and the new Rule 162, Part 1 of the Parliamentary Rules of Procedure, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to approve the proposal by government to borrow euro 270 million from the African Export-Import Bank and up to euro 230 million from EcoBank Uganda Limited and the Development Bank of Southern Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda's budget for financial year 24-25.
Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Government Chief Whip, by Kasbat, by Silwanyi, by Achora, by Chemaswet, by Koluo, Nekesa, Ayeko, Medi, Insegumire Medi, Baka, Alex, Namboso, by the whole side. Would you love to speak to your motion?
Honorable Speaker, in June 2024, Parliament appropriated the total budget for the financial year 24-25 amounting to shillings 72.137 trillion for implementing of government activities, out of which shilling 34.318 trillion was appropriated and shilling 37.817 trillion was approved for statutory expenditure. The total appropriated budget support financing was shillings 1,393.66 billion.
Honorable Minister, the appropriation was done on 17th May 2025.
Yeah, I beg it.
Yes. As stated, you continue. We have corrected the record. Don't disorganize the old man. Let him continue. Let him first continue.
Right Honorable Speaker, My ministry has now concluded negotiations for the euro 500 million, approximately shillings 1,982.65 billion, to finance these approved expenditures from external sources. This is comprised of a loan of up to euro 270 million from African Export-Import Bank, as I've said before, to finance the budget as appropriated, and up to euro 230 million from EcoBank Uganda Limited and Development Bank of South Africa. The two loans were also approved by Cabinet on the 26th of May this year. The two loans were approved by His Excellency the President on 20th May 2025 by Cabinet on 26th May 2025, and a certificate of financial implications as shown in Annex 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 of my detailed brief to Parliament respectively. Terms of conditions of the loan. The financing terms of the African Export-Import Bank loan are as follows. Loan amount, 270 million, tenor, 10 years, grace period, 3 years, base rate, 6 years, Eurobor, 2.151% as of 7th May 2025, margin 5.00 per annum, interest rate, base rate plus margin, placement fees 1.57, payable one-off upfront
1.75.
1.75 percentage. Commitment fees 1.0 percentage per annum.
1.2 per annum.
1.2 percentage. Not applicable if Government of Uganda draws down the entire loan amount within 90 days from the date of signature of the financing agreement. The all-in cost-effective interest rate for the facility is 7.33% based on the 6-month Eurobor rate of 2.151% as of the 7th May 2025. The terms of the EcoBank Uganda Limited and the Development Bank of Southern Africa Limited loan are as follows. Loan amount, euro 230 million, tenure 7 years for the commercial tranche, euro 130 million, and 10 years from the DFI tranche, 100 million. Grace period, 3 years for the DFI tranche and 3 years for the commercial tranche. Availability period, 90 days. Base rate, 6 months Eurobor, 2.151% as of 7th May 2025. Margin, 5% per annum for the DFI tranche and 4.85% per annum for the commercial tranche. Interest rate, margin plus base rate for each tranche. Arrangement fees, 2.5% of the facility amount. Agency fee, euro 30,000 per annum. Commitment fees, 0.5% per annum, not applicable if Government of Uganda draws down the entire loan amount within 90 days from the date of signature of the financing agreement. Default interest, 1.5%. The all cost-effective interest rate for the two EcoBank facilities is 7.20% for the DFI tranche and 7.18% for the commercial tranche based on the 6-month Euribor rate of 2.151% as of 7th May this year. Condition precedent to disbursement of the loan. The condition precedent to effectiveness and disbursement of the loan are highlighted on page 6 and 7 of the brief to Parliament. Justification of the loan, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Euro 270 million loan facility is to finance the financial year 24-25 budget as approved by Parliament on May 2024 to be sourced externally, while the additional Euro...
May 2025. I am correcting the year. Yes, let's finish first, then I give you the shadow. I'll give you the shadow.
I repeat, Right Honorable Speaker, and I'm just justifying now, the Euro 270 million loan facility is to finance financial year 24-25 budget as approved by Parliament on May 2024 to be sourced externally, while the additional Euro 230 million is to finance the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 approved by Cabinet and later Parliament on the 12th of March 2025 for financial year 24-25. A copy of the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 will be attached and marked as Annex 8 of my detailed brief to you. The loan and the current date situation of the country. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the loan will slightly increase our current date stock. As at the end of June 2024, the total public debt stock stood at $25.55 billion, increasing from $23.6 billion as at the end of 23. Of the total public debt stock, external debt constituted $14.59 billion, and domestic debt stood as $10.96 billion. Uganda's debt remains sustainable with a nominal value of public debt to GDP of 46.86% at the end of June 2024 compared to 47.40% at the end of June 2023. Honorable Speaker, I wish to lay on the floor of Parliament the brief to Parliament with the following attachments. 1. Cabinet Minute 19/24 on the performance of the budget for expenditure for financial year 24-25. 2. Cabinet Minute 93/2025 on supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for financial year 24-25. 3. Letter from His Excellency the President providing clearance to the 2 loan dated 20th May 2025. 4. Resolution of Parliament for supplementary expenditure schedule number 3, certificate of financial implications. 6. Draft financing agreement for the Euro 270 million to be provided by the African Bank. And lastly, draft financing agreement for the Euro 230 million to be provided by EcoBank and the Development Bank of South Africa. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, I wanted to find out the money we are borrowing is meant to finance budget? Is it the current budget that we are on, or it is budget 2025-2026?
It is for this running. Yes, she has asked me a question. This is not going to be financing the coming financial year. We have a lot of...
It is for us to finish the budget 2024-2025.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
And when is the financial year ending?
Well, if you give me the authority, this money will go out to the spenders.
Thank you.
Before the weekend comes.
Honorable Minister, if we give you the authority, I thought we are giving you authority to borrow. How long will it take you to borrow the money?
I'm asking for. Let me explain carefully. Listen. Let us listen to each other.
Honourable members, let's listen to the minister.
There are expenditures now in the treasury which we need to pay. Yeah, with the scientific means these days. Yes, by the end of the weekend. Yes. You can go and check on the treasury.
So
you go.
If the money is for the current year, the minister was right that the money was appropriated in 2024.
Yeah.
Yes, it is for the current budget.
Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Baka.
Speaker, I raise on a point of procedure under Rule 61, paragraph D, for a motion without notice to suspend Rules 162, to suspend Rule 162, paragraph 2, 3, and 4, to enable this House debate this matter and consider the motion to borrow without necessarily referring it to the Committee on National Economy. Madam Speaker, if my motion is supported, I can proceed to justify it.
Is the motion seconded by Kanusu, by Okwiri, by Chamaswet, by Silwanyi, Nekesa, on suspension of Rule 162 to allow the House debate on the loan without referring it to the Committee of National Economy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have heard you say that today you are likely to prorogue the House. Madam Speaker, if that is the case, it practically means that this matter cannot be referred to the Committee on National Economy. For them to sit, consider the matter, and then you call us again for us to be able to handle this matter as a House. Madam Speaker, I propose that since this House is the committee of last resort, because those other committees of the House, they work on our behalf. Since we are here, we are the committee of the last resort. Let's handle this matter and conclude it today, Madam Speaker. Besides, agencies need the money, which we don't have, and the government cannot get stuck because there is no money when we can borrow expeditiously. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Gonzaga. You to come last. Okay.
Madam Speaker, given the urgency of this law, it is crucial for this House to give due consideration for its approval. I would not be a roadblock. But Madam Speaker, you are the custodian of the rules. Now that it is not going to be under normal procedure referred to the relevant committee, rules are being suspended, I would implore your chair to consider the rule that requires you to ascertain the members present whether they form quorum for such an important decision to be made, Madam Speaker, so that we do not find ourselves on the wrong side of the law.
Let's establish the number which is there both on Zoom and physical. We are going to establish it. Yes, Gonzaga.
Madam Speaker, also in a good spirit, it would be very proper if the Honourable Minister of Finance is not also moved the motion to suspend the rules. Because the Honourable Baka, the justification is giving is not proper. After having passed the UPDF bill in one day,
what is the justification?
You can't be the right person
Honorable
to move.
Just remind me, what did the Honorable Baka say?
That there is no time and there is urgency. And I don't agree with him, but it will be proper.
How is that related to the UPDF?
Yeah, the way he rushed it, what he did, so filthy, and he cannot be the person. Even after having met him on the veranda, I asked him to present my issues. He gave me the date of Monday, but he brought the bill the following day.
Thank you.
It doesn't look nice. It looks ugly before us.
There is an order. Eddie?
Yeah, Madam Speaker, the issue that the Minister has presented and what Baka has subsequently added to, we have the Minister of Finance with a number of ministers, and this budget is now coming to 12 months. The Minister should have given a justification why there was a delay in the planning. So is it procedurally right?
And we needed this to come before the appropriation.
Yes, because this one we approved the expenditure side, and we also assumed the government had made the relevant sources of the funds. So when you come here and you are going to bring your own, when we are actually closing today, it means the Article 90 of the Constitution will not be complied with. So the government makes Parliament actually look as if they are not doing their work. A loan of 70% is non-constitutional. It is actually commercial loan. So we would appeal to the minister to give us justification as to why Parliament must be rushed. We agree we can suspend the rules, but we need to have it unanswered. Why government can bring a loan that is commercial to support a budget that is ending in 30 years?
No, the budget is ending. That is agreeable.
But there is no money.
But there is no money.
Yes.
So can we agree that since we don't have money, nobody should be paid salary? No, we should stop working on the roads. We should. That's what the minister is saying.
No, we are on the
that we need money to finish all the obligations that we have to meet.
Right, Honorable, you are right. We are on the question of planning. That's the ministry responsible for economic planning. So do they plan?
Okay.
Because if they plan, they should have come and give us sufficient time.
Government Chief Whip. Let Park first say, then you.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, before my committee is one of the reports on our debt management. You are speaking to a minister who has undispersed money borrowed 16 trillion.
It is lying out there, borrowed, we are paying interest. This money, 16 trillion, it lies out there, borrowed.
Is it undisbursed or unutilized?
I'm coming. That is money undisbursed. We have 222 billion of Ugandan shillings in Bank of Uganda that is dispersed and unutilized. I've looked at both the Uganda shilling and the dollar account in the Bank of Uganda. Now, one of the reasons that the Auditor General is consistently advancing for this predicament is the way Parliament approves a borrowing. We approve borrowings, one, without taking all the necessary conditions to ensure that this money will be absorbed. And Parliament as an institution is indicted for not doing a good job. Right Honorable Speaker, this Minister of Finance, you see here, trying to borrow this amount of money, must first ascertain that he has capability to absorb the money, because the system of Uganda closes on the 15th of the month. So from now you have only 14 days. Even if you borrow 2, the arrangement time for the money to be wired from wherever to Uganda's Bank of Uganda account can, unless he went, got the money, borrowed it, he had it here, and that's unconstitutional. And therefore he's coming to Parliament for post-mortem kind of approval. And he's stopped to borrow money without parliamentary approval. So the only way he can have money, the way he can borrow from international market, in the remaining days, he can't have time to arrange a borrowing. Unless he borrowed it, got it, and is coming here to say, please, rubber stamp. And now, if we are rubber stamping, that is unconstitutional.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, the other thing that the Minister, where he is indicted, this Honorable Kasaija, is on the President of Uganda clearly stated conditions under which a borrowing must be undertaken, and said 3 reasons only. 1, to support security needs of a country. 2, to support infrastructure development. 4, human capital development. He said no further borrowing, to borrow money to spend on recurrent expenditures, including wage. Is the President rescinding his position on this borrowing? Because I hear you say, and this Parliament, that people's wages for June are not, you don't have money. The President said you can't borrow to pay wage.
Who said that?
That's the argument I've been getting. I'm not the Minister. Now, for general support, we want the Minister to come here and say, this whole money, item by item, will go to defense, infrastructure, and human capital development. But generally, for budget expenditure, is recurrent. And for how long shall we borrow money to eat?
Budget expenditure is both recurrent and development.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. But borrowing can only be for development. So is this minister today a very serious gentleman?
Muzee, yes. Muzee is a very serious gentleman.
Honorable Kivumbi, I don't know whether some of us here have done business. You can rear goats, but you need money. You can take a service or a good and this is what the government is undergoing. We have a number of pending invoices who has been traveling on the road between Mitiana to Mubende. Anybody? Is that road You are there.
Honorable Zake is there. Honorable, Honorable Margaret.
Is that road comfortable? Yet there is a contractor. That's what you are telling you. Yes, I failed to pay him because I did not have the resources. So now the year is ending. The suppliers, the debtors are demanding for the money. So really, Honorable Kivumbi, it is not money which we have cham. No, this money is...
Actually, the contractor is on the road. He has been there on the road.
We need it to be, he has to be paid. And we do not want to carry it to the next financial year when the opportunity is available.
Thank you. Honorable Query, then Government Chief Whip.
Right Honorable Speaker, this borrowing is to support the budget. And I really want to plead with members, looking at the status of our roads and looking at pending projects, that we really need to support government to access this money so that we can deliver service to the people of Uganda.
Thank you. Honorable members, there is a report from Minister of Works where they are saying that the road Kampala Mitiana Mubende Road, the contractor has been convinced to go back on road, though they've not paid, so they want to make payment on that contractor. If we are talking about that, and Zake can confirm, Honorable Zake can confirm that the contractor has been there for 1 week now. Honorable Sech Remyaga.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I can understand the Honorable Minister for Finance, who is presenting this loan request. Right Honorable Speaker, I wanted to be clear. This Parliament is not against this loan, but only that it is being brought on the eve of the new financial year. When it's late, Right Honorable Speaker, we are having in new conditions. As I was listening in to the Minister, the management fee, the agency fee, the commitment fee, the base tranche, the commercial tranche, and I think it is a problem for this House to approve such a huge loan on hoof. We are ready to support, but once you stampede Parliament at this last minute, who is to blame really? And we as people's representatives, to just sit by and we say, aye, on a matter that is critical. Yes, we want this infrastructure, but can you do us favor by letting us know so that we work together, so that we don't commit the country to such an arrangement? We are borrowing from EcoBank, a commercial bank, and we need to be careful about borrowing from a commercial bank. We are competing with other Ugandans at commercial rates. As a country, I don't think we are moving in the proper way. Yes, it's true we want to pay off the pending expenditures, but as Parliament we need to walk out with our heads high that we've done duty to the country. We have scrutinized and we have given our approval. But the way we are doing, and honorable colleague is suspending rules, etc., it seems we are not prepared as a country. So to me, Right Honorable Speaker, I'll give my approval, but can we be given exactly what it is? Can we unpack this loan? Can we consume the technical? Giving even their agency money, there are people there between who are ready to share this money. It is now a package, and people are in there already as agents to see how much they take out of this loan. And I think once government is borrowing, you can give the information.
Honorable Sechi, now you've taken over my seat.
Honorable Speaker, just information. when you see agency fees, then we need to be careful in borrowing. That means somebody out there is going to give money to Uganda currently now. He has it in the bag. Then he's like going to take over this loan. And that's a very expensive arrangement. So may the Honorable Sechko give information. May he do us a favor to tell us the total cost of this loan. Take us through the agency fee, the commitment fee, and tell us at the end of the day what's the cost of this loan. Because that will help to know where we are doing, what we are doing and where we are going. Where you have involved in agency, it's another Amagoro kind of arrangement. And that is something that is so hard for a country to swallow. Tell us the total management fee for the whole arrangement. So, Honorable Sechkubo, it is information to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kivumbi, for the information. My worry was there between the bank and the lending institution and the government, there is a middle entity called the agent, who is going to get free money. But as an agency, is there to arrange the money and to carry away part of this money. That's why, Right Honourable Speaker, you put it to the ministers to tell us why are they packaging this entire thing together, and for us, without giving us opportunity to look into what we are going to spend and incur as a country. Elsewhere, Madam Speaker, we are ready. We want that road, the Mitiana Movement Road, we wanted it yesterday. But at what cost are we doing this? And that's where my issue is.
Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Honorable Government Chief Whip.
Right Honourable Speaker, I just wish to give one fundamental information to this Parliament. Why are we coming now with this borrowing? There are basically two reasons why we are coming now when we are hardly 1 month to the end of the financial year. One is that we have had prolonged and protracted negotiations with the banks we are borrowing from in order for us to reach the terms and conditions read by the minister. Two is that, Right Honourable Speaker, we approved supplementary schedule number 3 on 12th of March 2025 by this House. And part of this funding will also go into funding supplementary schedule number 3 that was approved by this House. I beg to give this information because all these are subject to the approval of Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Basalira. I thought you were standing. Yes, shadow. Let me have the shadow minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I have about 2 or 3 issues of concern. One is the minister needs to clarify when this loan request was supposed to be brought. When were you supposed to bring it? Because in my view, and when you look at the law, the PFMA, you're bringing it at the wrong time. It was actually supposed to be brought before us passing the next annual budget, before consolidating all the supplementary budgets that we did, and before us passing. The deadline was the 20th of May, which passed for us to consolidate.
That is the response that the Government Chief Whip gave because of the protracted negotiation that they've gone through, which has taken all this long.
Yes, so us passing it right now, we're actually breaking the law as Parliament, passing it after consolidating the budget, the PFMA and the Constitution. You cross-check. Honourable Minister, maybe you do not have the PFMA with you, but we were supposed to pass it before the 20th of May, before us looking at and the Committee of Supply approving the next annual budget. The other issue of concern is about supplementary schedule number 3 that the Government Chief Whip is justifying. that it's going to cover. When I look at supplementary schedule number 3, there is actually only 61 billion shillings that is supposed to go to the Ministry of Works. And every time a supplementary schedule comes, it comes with its source of funding. Where is that money supposed to come from? So you coming at this time after us approving and passing, because when we pass the supplementary schedule number 3, we included the source where this money is going to come. Thirdly, it concerns the terms that we are getting this loan on. This is not a concessional loan, and majority of this money, over 90%, is going into consumption. Members are being convinced that it's going to do infrastructure, but when you look 61 billion out of the over 1 trillion shillings, it cannot justify. Most of the money is going into consumption. So us borrowing at about 7.3% to consume is totally wrong, and I think the Honorable Minister knows this quite well.
Sorry, we will classify it later on. Two things. One, we are having, as I said, pending invoices. Pending invoices. We raised this, the invoices were raised in the hope that would be able to have to get this money. Unfortunately, the lenders, they dragged their feet. They dragged their feet. If we had closed with them 2 months or 3 months behind, there would be I would not be standing here. Now, if we do not pass these loans, we are going to default. No, listen. Let me clarify. Let me again go to Mubende Road, because there are so many roads. If my colleague, the minister in charge of roads, would be here, he would tell you. Me, I'm telling you Mubende because Mubende leads me to my home. Yes. Now, money ran out of that project. Specifics we can give, but I will tell you that the trend itself. So, when the money got finished, the contractor laid down his weapons. Oh yeah. You can go and ask him. The contractor had started. Oh my goodness!
Honorable members, please listen to the minister.
Have you gone on that road?
Listen to the minister.
Doesn't it move from Mitiana now? It is almost to Uganda.
No, let's have respect for each other. No, yes. No.
Because when you tell him to tell me that Kasaja is a liar, I get agitated. Tell me how I have lied. Madam Speaker, let him tell me how I have lied.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, there is no way you can get a contractor before getting the money. So when you say that the road is not going on because you don't have the money, it's not proper. You are a liar. And I'm insisting on that. Because can you inform this House that you contracted a company to work on Mitiana Road without getting the loan? You first get the money, you pass the loan, then you go for the process of getting the contractor. So why are you a liar?
Honorable members, I want to refer you to Supplementary Schedule 2, which we passed in March. And in that resolution which was there, the money actually the minister is laboring to talk about was in the supplementary, which the 230, that was part of the money, 230 euros. That's what we approved, that money. And that now goes back to what Honorable Government Chief Whip was saying, that they've been negotiating with the lender. The document is here. I had to retrieve it from the archives.
Right, Honorable Speaker, you are speaking of the money for the road. This total borrowing, if you convert it in Ugandan shillings, is 2 trillion.
I'm not speaking about the money.
It's 2 trillion. Now, the Mitiana, which is being blackmailed on us, and you know there's a blackmail.
Honorable Chivombi, I'm not speaking about the money of the road. What I'm speaking about is the money that we approved in this house, where we said external borrowing euros 230 million. External borrowing, we approved it. So what the minister is coming now here is to say we have got the money. So the money, these are the terms. The document is here. Maybe you need to look at it.
Right, Honorable Speaker. When we approve a supplementary, we approve a funding, the other side. It's credit and expenditure. So if we approved money without the minister ascertaining exactly where he's going to get the money, and at this moment he comes in and tells you, I'm going to EcoBank, and he tells you there is an arranger, and he's telling you that we are being blackmailed on Mitiana Road. July is just 30 days off. Even if we don't do a contractor, you can finance it from July 1st.
Honorable,
so my point of view, right, Honorable Speaker, is that the issue where you are saying we approved the supplementary and approved a corresponding borrowing, external funding, and which is supposed to generate this money. Me, I'm asking the minister, first of all, the law does not permit you to put a contractor on the road without ascertaining funding. So what if we don't approve it? How could he have paid it? So he's operating outside the ambit of the law.
Honorable Chivombi, when you look at the resolution of Parliament on supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2024-25, the external borrowing that we approved is part of the money that the minister is talking about. That is the 230 million euros. And the resolution is here, signed. But then what you need, Honorable Minister, what the House is raising, one, how did you take the contractors on road when you didn't have the money? But at the end of the day, it is you and me and everybody, the conditions on the road, that push finance to have these contractors on the road. Then two, Honorable, just to help the House, Honorable Masava, can you tell us the section that does not allow the minister to bring a loan, a loan request at this time to the House? Let's resolve things one by one. Honorable Chivomi, let's resolve this one.
Let's resolve. Now, right, Honorable Speaker, if Parliament approved the borrowing in the supplementary and permitted the minister to spend, to have money, then what we are required right now to approve are terms and conditions of the borrowing.
For.
That's why I asked the minister here, one, tell us the cost of this loan. Tell us the terms
which he has
of
given,
this loan.
which he
and
has
you approve. Given. Now, the terms and conditions approved, presented here, without attaching a cost, and I'm asking him very deliberately, tell us of the 2 trillion we are borrowing, how much of that money is going to pay for arrangement of this loan?
Yes, Chairman Sweat.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Now that we have two motions, one moved by the Minister of Finance and the second one moved by Honorable Baka, I would request you, Madam Speaker, that we expedite the motion moved by Honorable Baka on the question of suspension.
The motion of Honorable Baka was sorted out.
That one was
We
settled out.
suspended the rule. We are now looking at the terms, terms of the loan. The issue of borrowing is not an issue. We are looking at the terms.
Now that, Madam Speaker, that we have debated, we have heard from the Minister of Finance, we have heard from the opposition, we have heard from everybody. Let a question be put, Madam Speaker, on this matter, on this motion, so that we can vote on it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Is it seconded? Seconded that we put a motion, we put a question, seconded by Okwiri, seconded by Aogon Silas, by Government Chief Whip, by Silas, by Sanon, by Nekesa, by Samuel, by Segumire, by Ogwang, by the minute. Honorable members, fiscal, we have 62 members, we have virtually 112. Honorable members, I put a question that the rule, I put a question that this House authorizes the government to borrow up to euros 270 million from Afrixim Bank and up to 230 million from Eco Bank and the Development Bank of South Africa Limited to finance the government of Uganda budget for financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say the contrary nay. Guys have it.
Item 5 on the order paper. Sorry, item 4 on the order paper. Statement by Minister on the state of roads and rampant road accidents.
Honorable Minister of Works. Honorable Government Chief, we want the Minister of Works to handle the issue of the roads.
Item.
Honorable Nankabira, the floor is yours. Yes. Public service, kindly don't go away. We need an answer on the terminal benefits. The people you fired, you sacked out of RAPEX. Next.
Item 5 on the order paper. Motion for approval of the proposed disposal of selected plots of land in Kampala by the Kampala Capital City Authority pursuant to Section 34(6) of the Public Finance Management Act 2015.
Honorable members, you recall that on 14th May, I referred to the Sectoral Committee of Fiscal Infrastructure a request by Kampala City Authority for disposal of 5 selected plots in Kampala. 5. The referral was to enable the committee process a request for approval by this House, and that is made pursuant to Section 34(6) of the Public Finance Management Act 2015. This House could not approve that request without the Minister of KCCA moving a motion himself. And the Minister of KCCA is here and will require a report from the Committee of Infrastructure. I hope they are here. You have the report? Okay. So, can you move the motion? Honorable Mudimi.
I'm moving on procedure. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The motion talks about the section 34(6). But when you look at the PFMA, Cap 171, section 34, it talks about authority to raise loans. Now 6, it talks, notwithstanding subsection 5, where a loan is raised for treasury operation, it does not talk about the subject matter.
I think the person who captured is the one who made a mistake.
Madam Speaker,
34(6).
it talks about different issue. I beg that we move under section 32(6), which talks about asset management. 6, an accounting officer shall not pledge or otherwise encumber the land or any other asset of a vote without the permission of Parliament.
Honorable Mudimi, 34 is on asset management, and 34(6) says an accounting officer shall not pledge or otherwise encumber the land or any asset of a vote without permission of Parliament. Maybe we are using different acts.
Madam Speaker, the law was revised and we are dealing with Cap 171.
Anyway, the subject matter is what matters.
But
that is a subject matter. We can change the. Thank you for the correction. Thank you for the correction, Honorable Mudimi.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, for the many sittings I've had, it's for the first time I'm looking at a motion for Parliament to approve the disposal.
It is not the first time.
No, I'm coming to that, Right Honourable Speaker. To allow the selling off of 5 plots of Kampala for whatever reasons of a loan, and we're talking about the properties of this country, where would actually be borrowing to buy more properties, where we need the future of this country as we legislate today, and we are consumed by even disposing of what is there, as if someone is carrying these plots on their heads.
Honorable Sechkubo. Yes. Honorable Sechi, why don't we allow the minister to move his motion? He explains to it so that we all understand what it is. Because as of now, we don't even know what it is. Let's get a report, and if it is not something good, if I wanted it the other time, I would have passed, but I said no. Let's have a report on it. Let the committee go and visit these lands. Let's have a report, and we assess if it is something viable for the authority, we'll allow it. If it is not, then we don't.
I'll take it, only that it is a disturbing motion. Even when you want to look away and listen, you don't find any rational ab initio as to why a minister who has a lot of work to do, a lot of business to do, is carrying a motion to say we dispose of the 5 ports of Kampala. It is strange. It is alien
let's hear the
to
motion.
the aspirations of the people of Uganda.
Let's hear the motion, let's hear the report and the justification. Honorable Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move a motion for approval.
Chofa, don't listen to Honorable Chivumbi.
Moreover, is my uncle, so I will report him back home. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move a motion for approval of the proposed disposal of selected plots of land in Kampala by Kampala Capital City Authority, pursuant to those 2 sections of the Public Finance Management Act.
Honorable Loeb, why don't you allow him to?
Madam Speaker, respectfully, I have a procedural issue to raise pertaining the subject matter, which could even require this motion to be stayed, Madam Speaker. Your office is in receipt of a correspondence from the Speaker of
Honorable,
KCCA. And
I know what I am doing.
Incidentally, I have a copy.
Please, I know what I am doing. Can I have the motion moved so that we dispose it off?
I wish you could extend me
I
courtesy.
know what you're saying.
And I developed
Yes. Now, if you're in receipt of my letter, it's my letter.
A copy
No,
was given.
it's mine.
Most
Mo-
obliged.
Mm. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the justification of this motion is, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, under Section 34,
32(6) as corrected.
32(6), thank you very much, of the Public Finance Management Act, an accounting officer shall not pledge or otherwise encumber the land or any other asset of a vote without the permission of Parliament. Kampala Capital City Authority, Madam Speaker, is seeking to lease Plot 2, Kenneth Close, Kamocha, Plot M731, Old Chira Road, Plot M880, Offspring Road, Plot 406, Namirembe Road, and Plot M69, and Plot M70, Lugogo. Honorable Speaker and members, leasing of the land will help bring development to the city and also help the city to raise revenue to provide services to the residents of Kampala. The authority obtained all necessary and approvals required to lease of this land, the land mentioned. Honorable Speaker and members, the lessees are already in occupation. This is the most important thing, Madam Speaker. The lessees are already in occupation of these plots intended to be disposed of. I therefore request the House to approve the motion so that Kampala Capital City Authority can go ahead to lease the above mentioned plots. I beg to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Seconded. Seconded. Seconded by Segumire, by Okwir. Yes. Yes, Honorable Sewungu. Not Sewungu, Chivumbi. Honorable Chivumbi.
Right, Honorable Speaker, can you give me a few minutes to internalize this?
Can we also allow the chairman to first present his report? No, let the minister, let him first present.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand under capacity building of members of Parliament. I've been assigned this report by my chairman to present a report on Committee of Physical Infrastructure on the request by KCC, Kampala City Council Authority, to lease specific land parcels. Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, this is...
You people, you senior members, why are you harassing the new members of Parliament? Why don't you build the new members?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you called out the chair of the committee.
He is a member of the committee and have been duly informed the chair is out of town and he has delegated him to present the report as a member of the committee. You've been in this house longer, Honorable Sechi. You are the one who mentored me in the 10th Parliament. Now, why don't you mentor Honorable Segumire?
Right Honorable Speaker, you are right in all respects, only that I wanted to point out that he has a conflict of interest, having been formerly with the central division.
Is
under
the land being
KCCA.
allocated to him?
No. Having been there, he has a conflict of interest, which he has not declared to this house,
Well,
that
if
he
it-
was formerly working within the KCCA as a leader.
Is the land being allocated to him?
No, he
When we gave him to be in the committee, Honorable Government Chief Whip, didn't you allocate him to be in the Committee of Infrastructure? The microphone is there.
The issue I'm raising,
no.
The issue I'm raising, Right Honourable Speaker, he's using information private to him in his previous employment to influence a matter of this motion.
Yes, Honorable Nankabirwa. He's not conflicted. It is me to rule whether it is conflicted or not. You do not come just to debate that when you've not been in the house.
Right Honourable Speaker, some of us are really anxiously waiting for this motion to be tabled so that we can debate it and bring our issues. My concern now is that how we are proceeding by allowing colleagues like Honourable Sechikubo to bring information. Allegation is on a member of parliament.
He's debating in an anticipation.
Debating a motion which is not yet been tabled worries me at this time where we expect members to respect the rules of procedure. When the speaker rules and she has allowed a member to present a motion, can we respect the chair? Can we respect the speaker so that we have time to debate? You either support or oppose. And I raised this, Madam Speaker, because I was lost and I requested that you guide
Please,
us.
thank you. Good guidance. And yes, Honorable Government Chief Whip.
Right Honourable Speaker, I wish to confirm to this House that during the designation of members into sessional or sectoral committees, the Central Executive Committee of the National Resistance Movement approved the Honourable Segumire to be designated as a member of the Committee on Physical Infrastructure. I proceeded in this House, put his name among others, and this House approved him. And under our rules of procedure, a chair of a committee can delegate the deputy chair or any member to present the report of the committee. I wish to confirm this.
Thank you. Thank you, Government Chief Whip. Sam, when
you.
your boss has talked again.
Thank
Yes.
you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and members.
Now you want to make a maiden speech.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Yes.
I am here.
You present
I
your
am
report.
here as a member of Parliament.
Present your
At
report.
the same time, a member of Physical Infrastructure Committee. And I'm in the right position to present this report.
Present the report.
Right Honourable Speaker, this report by the Committee of Physical Infrastructure on request by Kampala Capital City Authority to lease plot 2, Kenneth Close, Kamocha, 2 plot M731 Old Kira Road, plot M880 Off Spring Road, plot 406 Namembe Road, and plot M69 and M70 Lugogo. The committee scrutinized the request and now begs to report. Introduction. On Wednesday, 14th May 2005, the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament referred request from the Executive Director of Kampala Capital City Authority seeking parliamentary approval to lease 5 specific land parcels in accordance with Section 32(6) of the Public Finance Management Act, PFMA, Cap 171, to the Parliamentary Sectoral Committee of Fiscal Infrastructure for urgent consideration and report to the House. Right Honourable Speaker, the background. Kampala Capital City Authority, being registered proprietor of the following land, is requesting parliamentary approval to lease plot 2 Kenneth Close, the above plots. Right Honorable Speaker, the aforementioned land parcels are to be disposed of by way of lease to the developers who have been in occupation of the parcels for the parcels for a number of years. So these are not new occupants, but these people have been around, have been there on that very land, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, except plot 2, Kenneth Cross, and plot 88 off Spring Road, which are vacant, and plot 406, the main road, which is being leased to Uganda Kingdom. Right Honorable Speaker, the methodology, the committee interacted with officials from Kampala Capital State Authority, scrutinized the request by the Executive Director and the survey and valuation reports, and reviewed letters of no objection from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Right Honorable Speaker and members, observations. Section 61 of the KCC Act, Cap 195, mandates the authority in performance of its functions to have due regard to the provisions of the PFMA. 2. The committee observed that Section 32(6) of the PFMA, Cap 171, mandates any accounting officer to seek parliamentary approval before pledging or encumbering land or any other asset.
Order
3.
Madam Speaker, the Honourable Minister of Finance is very rare here. We have given time to his business here, and now is running out of the house. Is he in order to behave the way he's doing? Yet we have other issues to consider. Can he keep around until this house ends? Is he in order?
The Minister is going to take water. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, number 3, the committee noted that leasing of the land by KCC will not only bring development to the city, but will also raise revenue for KCCA in form of ground rent, property rates. Furthermore, the land will be protected from the increasing number of encroachers. 4. The committee was informed that land parcels are to be disposed of by way of lease to the developers who have been in occupation of the parcels of the land thereof. Right Honorable Speaker and members, this land, the people who are going to be leased, they have been in existence, they have been on that very land. I'm here to read the names. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the committee was informed that plot 2 Kenneth Close is to be leased to Pinnacle Concept to construct a furniture showroom after having emerged as the best bidder after a competitive bidding process in compliance with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act Cap 205. The committee was further informed that plot 880 off Spring Road is to be leased to a developer who lost land to KCC after being displaced from a plot along Nachivo Channel as a result of ongoing developments in the area. So this land is after the developer the land was taken from him. So the committee and the KCCA thought that this man should be given the land to replace the Nachivo Channel as a result of ongoing developments in the area. Further, the committee was informed that this plot M7. I'm coming to that.
Honorable members, can we have silence?
Be orderly, please. Furthermore, the committee informed me that lease of plot M731 Old Kira Road is a sublease intended to normalize the occupation of an allocation or to use alive to support its HIV response activities and for construction of permanent offices as pledged by His Excellency the President. Right Honourable Speaker and members, this land we're talking about, it is in Kamocha. It has been there for a long time, and Youth Alive have been occupying it. So the KCC thought it best that they should be released. The committee was also informed that while plot 406 Namirembe Road is a property of Uganda Kingdom, unofficial communication from the government to its return to the kingdom is yet to be communicated. Hence, the lease by KCC to the business arm of the kingdom. So, Plot 406, it is a property of Uganda, but the communication from the government has not yet come. So the case sought it that they should lease it to give the business arm of the kingdom. The committee was informed that plot M69 and M70 Lugogo are to be leased to the Mango Tree Fraternity. The committee observed that while the request for the 5 parcels of land was tabled in Parliament for approval, plots 2 Kenneth Close in Kamocha and plot M69 and M70 at Lugogo lacked valuation reports from the Office of the Government Chief Valuer, while plots M731 Old Kira Road lacked documentation on clearance from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, as prior stated in the request letter. Except plot 2 Kenneth Close and plot 880 Offspring Road, which are vacant, and plot 406 Namirembe, which is being leased to Uganda. Sorry. Listen, members. The committee observed that, now, the committee therefore, on recommendations, the committee therefore recommends that Parliament approves lease of plot M880 off Spring Road and 406 at Namirembe, and urges KCC to find fast-track valuation of plots 2 Kenneth Cross in Kwamocha and M061 and M7 at Rugogo, and further attain clearance from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for plot M731 Old Kira Road.
Honorable, let me, a correction.
Parliament approval.
The committee therefore recommends that Parliament gives approval to KCCA.
Yes.
To KCCA. We don't have powers to lease. We give powers to KCCA to lease out the land.
Yes. Yes, my Honourable Speaker. So in other words, all the 5 plots, and no, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the 5 plots, apart from those ones which lacked clearance and valuation report, we are recommending, the committee is recommending for 2. The committee recommends for only 2, and then these are other ones to be fast-tracked and get all the.
The committee is recommending for which one?
The committee is recommending for 2. The committee therefore recommends that Parliament approves lease of the plots M880 off Spring Road and 406 at Namirembe, and urges KCC to fast-track valuation of the plots 2 Kenneth Close in Kamocha, the one of Youth Alive, then and M69 and M7 at Rugogo, and further attain clearance from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for plots 731 Old Kira Road, and in order to attain parliamentary approval. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Tony. You have a minority report? You have a minority report? No, I am asking you have a minority report. Tony?
Right Honourable.
Tony?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members.
Maybe for a clarification, the committee has, out of the 5, has only approved plot M88 of Spring Road. Where is Spring Road? Of Spring Road and
Right Honourable Speaker.
And 406 at Namirembe.
Namirembe, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, members of Parliament. Right Honourable Speaker, I thank the chair of the committee, and I rise to support the recommendation by the committee that Parliament moves ahead to authorize KCCA to lease out the 2 plots that they have done due diligence and found it's necessary. Right Honourable Speaker, I am only concerned today that for quite a long time, many plots and public land in cities and municipalities, their accounting officers have been disposing them, encumbering them without following the law, section 32 of the Public Finance. 32.6 of the Public Finance and Management Act, Right Honorable Speaker. I would want to propose that, Right Honorable Speaker, we consider all the pieces of land, of public land in cities, that were disposed of by accounting officers without express authorization of Parliament as being illegal, and then we constitute a committee to go and review all of them so that we take due diligence to know what the outcome of that lease or encumbrance would bring to that city. Right on.
Honorable Sam?
Tony.
Actually, I mean Tony, not a query. Tony, it is actually not only city plots or cases, or municipality plots, all lands that belong to government under a vote holder or under an accounting officer, including your land in your constituency that belongs to government that the accounting officers are giving out.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for that guidance. Because as we speak now, apparently we have lost most of this public land, and with a lot of fraudulent processes that has been done to dispose them out. Right Honorable Speaker, development happens on land, not in air. So for purpose of this particular request by KCCA that has been brought to attention of the Parliament, I would wish to ask colleagues that we support and authorize them to go ahead and dispose. But because due diligence has been done by the committee, and the purpose for which it is going to be disposed is very clear to us. Right Honorable Speaker, the cities of Mbarara, Kampala, Lira, Soroti, Gulu, and Arua, most of the public land in those cities has been fraudulently disposed of. And we cannot see it. We should put our feet on ground and you put a committee so that we are able to go through them, Right Honorable Speaker. Because if we don't do that and this process of disposing public land in a fraudulent way continues, then government has lost a lot of public land. Right Honorable Speaker, it is also true that we cannot leave this public land in cities redundant for so long, and yet we can authorize investment in them. So honorable members, Right Honorable Speaker, you cannot talk about development when there is no land. As long as there's due diligence, as long as there is going to be value, then we can go ahead and release this land, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you and thank the committee and thank KCCA for bringing this to attention of Parliament. What is important now, going forward, we put our feet down on ground. Thank you, Right Honorable
Honorable members, you've heard, and the committee did work on our behalf. And the committee was vigilant enough to say the 3 plots should not, plots or whichever, should not be approved. I put a question that this House authorizes the disposal of the following plots of land in Kampala City Council authority pursuant to Section 32.6 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, and that's plot M880 Offspring Road, 406 Namirembe Road. Those in favor sign the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Prorogation. Honorable members, before I formally prologue the House, I take this opportunity to thank the whole House for your dedication through the 4th session. It has been a difficult one in which we lost 2 colleagues, Honorable Sarah Mateke and Honorable Segrinya Mohammed. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Despite the setbacks, the Lord has also been kind to us, and we praise Him for that. During this session of the House has held 75 sittings, during which we have been able, 1, to administer 2 oaths to newly elected members of Parliament, Honorable Akifensa Ngabirano Grace, Woman Member of Parliament Kisoro, and Honorable Luimbasi Arias Nalkola. We have passed 33 bills. We've concluded 33 petitions. We have passed 43 resolutions. We've adopted 53 reports. We have considered 213 urgent questions. Wakiso, can you sit? We have considered 45 ministerial statements, considered 7 statements by the leader of opposition in parliament. This remarkable performance wouldn't have been possible without individuals and collective commitment by you members. As we transit to the 5th session, I want to urge you to maintain the same level of commitment. Honorable members, proclamation by the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament on prorogation of the 4th session of 11th Parliament. Whereas Article 95(3) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda provides that the Speaker may, after consultation with the President, prorogue Parliament by proclamation. Aware that the necessary consultation with His Excellency, the President, has been carried out, and it has been agreed that Parliament be prorogued. Noting that the 4th session of 11th Parliament commenced on 6th June 2024. Now, therefore, in exercise of the powers conferred on the Speaker by Article 95(3) of the Constitution, the Republic of Uganda, it is proclaimed that the Parliament shall stand prorogued with effect from 29th day of May 2025. The pending business before the House and its committee is hereby saved. Given under my hand at Parliament of Uganda, this day of the 29th May 2025. Honorable members, if you're trying to look for votes on the last day, the House has been prorogued up to 5th June.